Here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about things that you have thought about doing and um, haven't really started yet. Okay. So, as an example, maybe you've thought about starting a YouTube channel. Maybe you've thought about um, circle marketing in neighborhood. Maybe you've thought about calling expireds. Obviously, all of these are dependent on your personality profile and what's going to fit you. Maybe it is not even business related. Maybe you've thought about going to the gym since it's, January and everybody thinks about that, right? Maybe you've thought about, I don't know, sledding down the hill. No, just kidding. That was me looking out the window. Um, so I want you to put a column in there of things that you have thought about doing and just really haven't started. And just do 3 or 4 of them, 3, 4, 5 of them, whatever it is. And I want 3 columns actually. So that's the first one. The second column are going to be the main reason why you haven't started whatever that is. The main reason why you haven't started whatever that is. It could be lazy. It could be that I'm reading about it. It could be that it's snowing outside and it's negative 19 degrees. See, I already scared somebody off. Darn, that was a new person. They already left. Oh, well. Hate that when that happens. Come on, come on. All right. Once y'all do that, just look up and let me know that you're done with this process. Couple of things, 2 or 3 things that you want to do or thought about doing but haven't done, and then a reason that you haven't. So let's talk about how many of you know that you need to do the thing that you wanted to do and that you haven't started it. How many of you know that you know that you need to do that, right? Okay. How many of you have the knowledge that you of what you need to do that, or know where to go to get the knowledge of what you need to do that? Yes. Okay. All right. Because of course, anything you can find knowledge for anything that you want to by Google searching whatever it is, right? How do I do my follow up plan in my CRM? You're going to come up with thousands, right? How to make phone calls, right, Tony? How to work on my body composition. I mean, all of these different things. We have the knowledge or the access to the knowledge. What gets in the way? I'm going to give you the solution to all of them. Are you ready? Start. All of you laugh, right? I mean, you're thinking about that. So we'll get too many options, right, Jennifer? Exactly. All right. So here's the thing. How many of you are addicted to learning? I am. I'll admit, right? I mean, look, by the way, and that's just 2 shelves that are right there. If you walked around this house, look behind Janie, right? You see that? That's just one bookcase, and you'll see the books there. And by the way, when you go upstairs, guys, we have bookcases in closets of books, right? I mean, it's just it is, I mean, it's just all that kind of stuff. So you think about this process, right? And all of us in one form or another, or how many of you go to more than 2 hours of Zooms every week? Be honest, I know who you are. Okay, all right, good. All right, so here's the challenge. How much do you need to know to implement the things that you need to do? How much do you need to know to implement the things that you need to do? Because here's the thing. We have a tendency to read, and I read a book a week, right? Yeah, not as much as you think, right? I read a book a week. I'm always on podcasts. I've got earbuds in, when I'm working out at the gym, all this kind of stuff. We have a tendency to want to, because of the fear of doing something, it is a transformational process when you change what you're doing, correct? Right? Because it's not just an implementation piece. It's not just a learning piece, an information piece. The information piece we get daily. We get it from every Zoom. We get it from every book. We get it from every coach, from every YouTube channel, from every person we talk to. The information overload gets in our way almost every single time. There's so much information that's out there. It overflows, and it keeps us from doing the one thing that will transform us from an information gathering person to transforming to the person that we want to become or what we want to do. And that's doing. And here's the challenge. That is the challenge, right? Because when you talked about fear, right? I mean, right? Fear. Yeah. What's the fear of, though? What do you guys think? What's the fear of doing something? What is it? Yeah, right? Failing, right? Because when you look at the challenge with that, we want to become an informational overload person. We want to read the books. We want to listen to the podcast. We want to get on YouTube, watch the videos. We want to go to all the Zoom calls because we don't want to get out there and fail. at what we're doing. That, you know, it's amazing to me when we listen and when we look at people that are out there, and we've come to the point where we've actually changed the word to fail. We've changed failure. We've made it a bad thing as opposed to a good thing. And when we do that, we get scared of doing things. I mean, think about this. How many of you have kids? I know a bunch of you have kids, right? So you have kids, right? Do you think that a fear of failure has gotten in the way of your kids achieving something that they wanted to achieve? Right? Because fear of failure is getting in your way in one form or another, isn't it? Right? Okay. Why? Is failure a bad thing? No, but we want to cover up failure with information. As opposed to starting and doing and acting and actually failing, we want to cover up the failure and not start because we want more information so that we think that when we start, we're not going to fail. Does this make sense? Yes. Okay. Because if you start something that you don't know enough about, are you going to fail? Yeah, of course. Did you just learn something not to do? How many tries did Edison get on the light bulb before it worked? Come on, somebody.
I've heard 6,000. I've heard 9,000. It was a lot.
You mean it wasn't more than one, or it was more than one? He didn't get it right on the first time? Michael Jordan, same thing. All of us, we have a tendency to want too much information or more information before we start. And this is where the transformation comes in. Let's call it the 1 minute rule. And it's not the 1 minute rule that you Google out there. If you find something that you can do in 1 minute, do it. Anybody heard that before? Okay. If there's something that you can do in 1 minute, you probably should have somebody else do it because it's not worth even focusing on. Ooh, blew that one out of the water, right? Okay. So here's the thing. If you will stop all of your learning process and start with 1 minute a day, 1 minute, what are you doing? You're building a new habit, right? You're doing the activities that are going to build the new habit. It's just like the DPA points. How many of you are putting in your DPA numbers? Don't lie to me. I can look it up. Thank you. Okay. One call a day, one conversation a day when it comes to real estate specific or sales specific is better than none, right? Tony, when you're talking about, I'm not sure what to say, how about just start with hello? All right. Hey, I'm not sure if this is for you, but I've got a really cool product that could double your sales or whatever. I mean, I don't even know what you were talking about, and that's okay. But it doesn't matter, right? Start the conversation. One call. That's it. One call will lead to what? One more. Here's the thing. Emma, you're talking about, the body composition. What's that? What does that entail? What would be the equivalent of 1 minute? Is it 1 minute of cardio to do that? Is it one less sip of wine? All right. I mean, what's the 1 minute equivalent to whatever it is that all of you have thought about doing that you're not doing? Okay. So think about that. What's the 1 minute equivalent? The one thing, the step one that all of you can take when we get off of this call to not be waiting to start whatever it is that you had and what you wrote down in column number 1 when we started this call. Is there one thing that you can do immediately? Not tomorrow, not tonight, not an hour from now. One thing immediately that you can do.